All right, welcome to Blitz. I'm Brian Carr here with a couple of the Commerce Lady Tigers star soccer players. We have Ivy Tolbert and Kate Hill. Ivy is a sophomore and Kate is a junior. Girls, thank you so much for having me here at Commerce and being able to talk a little soccer with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. And state runner-up, I mean, that's pretty impressive any way you want to slice that down. I know it's not exactly the title of state champion, but what an amazing accomplishment. So, Ivy, I know that that's something you've always wanted to do is play for a state championship. What did it feel like to get on the pitch and play for a state title, go to overtime, and then now that you've had time to let it soak in to know that Commerce is the state runner-up?
Yeah, the environment of being at Mercer, it's completely different from anything we've ever played in.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hot. It was really hot. The memories will last pretty much just as long as the sunburns that we got from being there. But it was just really exciting. We had a fan bus come, so seeing the community support us no matter where we went, I think that was really it really summarized a season for us because every single win or loss we had, the community was there with us every step of the way. So every minute in the game, it was a hard-fought battle, and just being there was really exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because the season for soccer starts, and it's usually really cold at the beginning, and then to go to where you're talking about just really hot.
Yeah.
So following up on that, how much of last year's run, you got the first round bye, you get to the second round, and just an upset loss for y'all that you definitely grew from, but how much of that do you feel like in some ways fueled the team's energy this year?
Well, every win after the Sweet 16 win, we were making history.
Yep.
So that kind of inspired us to keep going. You know, we made it to the Elite Eight, and it was our first time in the Elite Eight. And then we made it to the Final Four, and it was our first time in the Final Four, so on. So it was just really exciting knowing that the girls that I was around, we were all making history together.
Yeah.
And also because it was such a hard ending last year, it made every win count a little bit more this year because we had never been there before.
Made it that much sweeter, right?
Yeah.
So, and Kate, kind of piggyback off this, I just thought about this because I think the semifinal and the finals were all region opponents, right? I mean, that's amazing to the testament of how great Region 8A was this year with Towns County, and mostly they leaned heavily on their defense, and what was that like to be able to play each other for a chance to go to state and then go back up against Social Circle in the title game?
I think it was difficult because they already knew how we played and they could re-strategize how they played. They obviously played more defensively, and we had to just fight back even harder every time. But I think it was a good run.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, too, because you both have, like, in-depth scouting reports on each other at that point. So you can kind of overthink it sometimes. And now this is a team that was not just, we talked about Towns County, a team that really relied on defense, and there's some teams that really rely on their offense, but this is a program that's built to dominate on both sides of the ball, 171-19. That's just unheard of, right? What does it feel like to play on a team like that where the offense doesn't have to carry the load every night and the defense doesn't have to be absolutely locked down every night?
It's exciting. I think that our defense played really well this season. I think it's a relief that we can play on both sides and control the ball and work as a team. It's really important in soccer.
Yeah,
soccer
and
is very much a team sport.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it would take a lot of load off anyone's shoulders to know that, it's not all on you, right? So.
Right.
So Ivy, this is what a historic season, not just for the program, for you individually. Hitting 100 career goals is something that you typically don't see. You were able to do that, I think, by the third game this year, something really early in the schedule. Take us back to that moment. What was that like to score your 100th career goal?
It was really exciting. It was a night game and it was at home, so I think doing it at home just meant something special, and that my whole team was there to support me and my family, and I knew it was coming up because my dad told me, he's like, okay, if you get to this and this and this, you'll get your 100th goal this game.
So you knew exactly which one it was?
Yes, okay. Because he switched the balls out after, so I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And so it was just really exciting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And, last year I think you had a share of the national lead in goals, and this year, I haven't seen the numbers, but I would be willing to put all my money on that. But you had 100 goals plus this year, which is unbelievable. Yeah. So not just 100 in a career, you're a sophomore, you get 100 goals this season. What was it like when you look back at that? What do those numbers mean to you?
Yes, sir. I mean, every goal happens one at a time, and it sounds like big numbers when you look at it, and it is, but it's just each play, each game, and you have to take it just like that, each pass, each touch. And the numbers do stack up, but it is a team effort for every single goal that I score. So
Absolutely.
It kind of comes back down to that.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Kate, for you got a chance to set the single match assist record this year. Talk about going back to that between the two of you, between Chloe Diaz, who's also a 100 career goal scorer, and other people on this team that can step up and score at any given moment. What is it like to have that kind of distribution and, as she mentioned, a total team effort on the offense?
Well, I think it's great. I think it's pretty cool that I have players up top that can score and players in the back that can pass up to me, and I can pass it to Ivy or Chloe or anybody else on the offense, and they just tap it in.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it hard for opponents to stop any one of you. So if they want to try to shut down Ivy, they can try, but then they got you to deal with as well.
Right.
So what was it like for you being able to look back knowing that you set that single game assist record?
Well, it's not just me. It's having those players up top, like I said, that can finish. So I think it's great, but it's also great to know that I have players that support me.
Right.
And that help me make that happen.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. All right, so this is, again, we go back to the hype that surrounds this team. Coming out right out of the gate, number one team, multiple all-state players right off the bat. So everyone knew Commerce is like the team to beat locally, right? How do you kind of sometimes have to separate the hype from just keeping focused on the game-to-game mentality each match that you play?
I wouldn't say the hype so much as like from the outside in is hard to look at, but like just within our school system, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
Like all the spring sports, and because we're kind of like winter
who can do the
sports.
best, I guess.
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of drowning out the hype from the people around you as well as like fans from other places, and so. Like when I'm at the state championship game and I hear like overhyped and stuff like that, it kind of inspires you more a little bit just to know that you have to play to match the words that are said about you.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Well, very well said. To that point, so you obviously a very gifted athlete, and you showed that this spring because you had a chance to do what a lot of people don't get to do, and that's participate in multiple sports in the same season, and bouncing back and forth during the playoffs with track and field, and not just competed, but did very well at the state meet as well. So what was that like to be able to double dip like that?
Yeah, we won region at Social Circle in our track team, and then immediately after I had to drive and play in our Final Four game against Towns County. And so that was a really, really long day. I was really tired, but it was definitely difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of knew going into it would be hard, but I very much underestimated the time commitment and like energy commitment. It was really hard on my body, but it was exciting that I could support my community and my school on two different teams and kind of represent in multiple ways.
Is that something, I don't want to put you on the spot, is that something where you think it's possible to continue to do that, or now that you've tried that, you know, like, hey, that's really hard to maintain that level of energy for the whole day like that?
I set the school record in the 800, and so I think after doing that at the state meet, it's kind of inspired me to keep doing track. But I don't know if I'll do quite as many events because I did 4 events, and so doing 4 events in a day and then coming to a soccer game was really, really hard.
I can't even imagine. My legs would be dead.
It was hard.
All right, so the crazy thing about this, Kate, is that state runner-up, I know that y'all wanted more than that. The only 2 losses all season came to Social Circle. So I think everyone knows y'all are more than capable of winning the whole thing. The great thing is people forget how young this team still is. So talk about how awesome that is, knowing that this team is still young and has potential to maybe improve even more.
Well, we do have a lot of upcoming seniors we got this year. And I think that they have the potential to be really good. They're very hardworking. And we definitely did lose a lot of good seniors, but we are a very young team.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, ever since middle school, we've all kind of played together, and it's awesome to have that environment. Yeah.
And in what ways do you think that this team, it's really hard to imagine this team being any better. Like, I mean, you guys are so amazing. But is there an area that you really feel this team can take the next step?
Well, there's always different ways you can take the next step. I think we really improved this season on talking and moving off the ball. That's something a lot of players have trouble with, but our team really stepped up. But we could always do better in that area. That's definitely how you play at the next level, and I think it's possible for us.
I do too, and as we're sitting here now, congratulations on a state runner-up finish. But
Thank you.
I would not at all be surprised if next year we're meeting and having that state championship trophy right here. But congrats again, girls. Thank you so much.
Thank you.